Okay, and some news coming in, breaking news on our screens. It seems that it's all about the life insurance business, and now it's State Bank of India that is selling at least a small bit of equity in its life insurance arm. We can understand that it's about 3.9% of equity, and it's going to be done at 460 rupees a piece. The expectation was that the deal is going to value the entire business at somewhere around 40,000 crore rupees. We'll just do the math and come back with some more details. We don't know who the buyer is as yet. Still watching out for those details. There were lots of big names, marquee names that had been doing the rounds, including KKR, Temasek, etc. Waiting for those additional details to come out to know exactly who the buyer is. And it seems the total quantum is just around 3.9% of equity, or just under 4% of equity. I, in fact, think we have with us Mr. Arjit Basu, who's joining in. So let's just try and get some of the details going. Mr. Basu, good evening, sir. Appreciate you joining us. If you could start by giving us the basic deal breakup and the details.
Hi, good evening. So SBI has decided to sell 3.9% of its total stake of 74%. The company has been valued at 46,000 crore rupees. So that comes to 460 rupees per share. And so the amount that will come into SBI is close to 1,800 crores.
Okay, can you share with us the details of the buyers? Who are the entities picking up?
So there are, it's two buyers actually, picking up an equal percentage of 1.95% each. So one is an affiliate of KKR and the other one is an affiliate of Temasek.
Okay, those are exactly the names that we had been picking up as well. That's what CNBC-TV18 had been reporting earlier. Are you happy with the valuation of 46,000 crore rupees, sir?
I would think so. This makes us the most valuable company currently in the private sector space, because if you see our competitors who have listed, their current market value is lower. And even in terms of the multiple over the embedded value, this is at 3.54, which is way above what any of the other companies at the moment who have declared have.
What was the rationale behind selling this 3.9% equity?
State Bank of India, for two reasons. One is, I think we are looking forward to finally listing, and this would be a good way to set a benchmark this year. And so they wanted to start with a small amount, and then we will take it forward in 17-18. When, if market conditions are conducive, then we will go for an IPO.
Can you give us some kind of a rough time frame for that? I understand there's a lot of turbulence and volatility right now, but typically around what time in calendar year 17 are you aiming for an IPO?
No, so that has actually not been decided, So this was, we have actually, it's not that we have worked backward from the IPO date and done this. We have done this first, and then depending on how the market is, we will consider an IPO. In the calendar year 17-18, subject to all the concerned stakeholders being on the same page.
Okay, my colleague Nisha Podar is also joining in. Nisha, over to you. Some questions. Of course, you were tracking the possibility of this deal happening for quite some weeks.
In fact, we are banging with the details that we had given earlier in this week, Surbi. So I'll take one question with Mr. Basu. Of course, we can do back of the envelope calculation very, very quickly. But then what is the total equity valuation of SBI Life as per this deal, Mr. Basu?
So that I think is something which is slightly different from what you had given. So the value of SBI Life has been put at 46,000 crore rupees.
That's quite a premium to what the market was expecting, and no wonder SBI stock was also on a high today. But can you take us through the details, the basic valuation parameters because of which you've landed up with 46,000 crore rupees of valuation instead of close to about 43,000, 44,000, which the market was expecting?
That is for the investors to answer. Except that, they were very happy that the franchise that SBI Life has built up is indeed very strong. It is very valuable. And we have been performing exceedingly well over the last few years. We are growing at a pace which is much faster than the market, as also much faster than any of the competitors. And that's how I think they would have valued the company in that light, and also the growth prospects in the industry in future, and the fact that SBI Life would be well poised to take best advantage of that.
Okay, Mr. Basu, request you to stay on with us. We also have Mr. Dinesh Kumar Khara, Managing Director and Group Executive, Associates and Subsidiaries at State Bank of India, now joining in. So good evening and thanks for joining in. Your thoughts? We just heard Mr. Basu tell us that the deal basically means that SBI Life gets about 1,800 crore rupees as part of this stake sale of 3.9%. What's the bigger game plan for the life insurance business? We were just discussing the possibility of a listing. How are you looking at the life insurance business?
We are very optimistic in terms of what the life insurance business can be as far as the State Bank of India group is concerned. We are offering through the bancassurance channel in the State Bank group, and we feel that we have a whole lot of potential which probably needs to be further tapped, and to that extent we are in a position to create value for the potential investors who are likely to join.
Okay, Mr. Khara, are you open to the idea of further equity dilution or further stake sales even before a public listing? Or will these two deals, one with Temasek and the other with KKR, are these two pretty much it before a public listing?
I think much of it will depend upon how the market pans out, and we will be taking the decision in this matter at the appropriate point of time depending upon the market conditions.
Just one quick question, and let me toss it to both the gentlemen. Mr. Basu, coming to you as well, these pretty steep valuations that you've managed to garner from these two marquee investors, 46,000 crore rupees. Do you think the going rate in the market, the listed space itself, you will be able to fetch these kind of premiums as well?
I think we have not set the benchmark or the prices. It is how the investors have viewed the the franchise, and what is the intrinsic value that they have discovered after going through our financials and the potential. So it's not something that we have held out, and if they have found that this is something which is reasonable, I'm quite sure that if and when we do take any other course of action like an IPO, I'm sure that we will get similar results, and we hope that we will continue to deliver. The most important thing is that both in quantitative parameters and qualitative parameters, the company continues to deliver. I think if we do that, then we don't foresee any problems.
Mr. Khara, this is Nisha Poddar also joining in from the newsroom. Wanted to understand 1,800 crore rupees coming into your kitty by way of this transaction in this particular quarter. How is that going to really impact your balance sheet? And of course, every quarter there has been an offloading of some stake or the other, or some non-core assets also to really buffer against the provisioning hit that the bank takes. So how is this going to pan out, sir?
See, as far as the impact on the balance sheet is concerned, as our investors to the extent of 39 crore gets offloaded and to the investors, and we are booking some profit about almost about 1,700 crore. So that is the kind of a situation it is, and this profit will be subject to long-term capital gains, subject to indexation benefit. That will be the broad impact of this transaction on the balance sheet.
Mr. Khara, what made you come down from about 10% that you had set out to offload in SBI Life to just about 4%? Why did you sell only this much?
See, eventually we would like to go to market for the IPO, and we have the other JV partner who has got a dial-up option card. If our JV partner right from the beginning, they have got a dial-up option. So we wanted to keep enough stock with us if at all we have to go for IPO, and if at all we so decide to go for IPO on our own. After this kind of a divestment also, we should have adequate stock available for offering it in the IPO. So that is the reason why we really have reduced the number to 3.9%.
So for 46,000 crore rupees, what is the kind of now targeted equity valuation that you're looking at for IPO, Mr. Khara?
That will be dependent upon what would be the pricing, market pricing at the material point of time when we go for IPO. Apart from that, the company, of course, keeps on adding value to its franchise by really building up the the product offering and also the distribution network which they have. So they keep on strengthening on these very critical pieces for the life insurance. And I'm sure that the material point of time will be taking a very objective view of the company's competitive strength and also the distribution strength. And depending upon that, we'll have our expectation in terms of valuation.
Mr. Khara, you mentioned the joint venture partner. So what is their view on the transaction? And, the discussions and the understanding that you might have right now with them, do they intend to continue even after a public listing, or there might be some sort of a further shareholding change in the coming months?
As of now, we have not heard anything to the contrary from them. So I presume that they will continue to be on board, and our relationship with all our joint venture partners have been of excellent order. So I feel and I expect that they will stay on, and we are creating value for their investment too. So I think there is no reason for us to even think otherwise.
And one final question to Mr. Basu, since we have you with us, sir, I can't, not ask you about this incentivization of digital transactions. And now public sector insurance companies are going to be offering these small discounts and premium. Just your thoughts on the move, and basically, who's going to foot the bill? And if at all, it's going to be slightly detrimental, just purely from a numbers standpoint. Or do you think it's too insignificant as of now?
Yeah, so this we need to examine how we can, sort of look at it in the private sector. But just to explain that when we price our products, similar kind of products like protection products which are sold through distributors and which are sold through the online channel, there already is some element of difference in the way we price the product. So it's a little cheaper, possibly, if you come forward directly online. However, we don't have as of now any specific product which is there, both identical product which is there in the offline channel and in the online, and give a discount in the manner that the government proposes to do in LIC. So we need to examine this. The idea of the government is that they want to give a boost to digital transactions. It is in that context that the finance minister has made these announcements, and since we are in the private sector, we have to take a call as to how it impacts us. But as of now, our online sales is fairly small. So therefore, it may not impact us so much immediately. But we certainly need to take a call as to whether we can take this up ourselves.
All right, Mr. Basu, Mr. Khara, thanks so much for joining in and giving us all the deal details and dynamics. That's CNBC-TV18 exclusive news break confirmed right here. 3.9% equity being sold by SBI Life to KKR and Temasek. Quick break, we'll come back with the market action.
CNBC-TV18, celebrating 17 years of business leadership.